Hong Kong's High Court has sentenced 45 pro-democracy leaders to jail terms ranging from 4 to 10 years in a case condemned by Western nations and right groups. They were charged with subversion for their roles in unofficial local elections in 2020. They were held under Beijing's national security law. That was introduced in 2019 after pro-democracy protests erupted in Hong Kong. The law crushed the movement and reduced the city's autonomy. We're joined now by Nathan Law, a former Hong Kong lawmaker and pro-democracy activist, now in exile in London. Nathan, many of the sentenced activists today are people you know. This must be devastating news.
It's definitely a devastating news, not only for me, but for the people of Hong Kong. We have to know that this is an unfair trial. They're being trialed under the National Security Court, which the government handpicked the judges, and the law is written by Beijing, not by the Hong Kong legislature. So this law is designed to put these political crackdowns and to jail these democratic activists. For them, they're merely exercising their right to participate in a primary, which in every democratic country, every parties will do it. So it's obviously a big crackdown in Hong Kong's history, and people are just very devastated about it.
Now, you yourself had to leave Hong Kong. There's even a bounty on your head because of your democracy activism. Are you worried about your safety?
I left Hong Kong 4.5 years ago, and after that, the Beijing government have been threatening me on different fronts, including harassing my former colleagues, my family, and also putting me on a wanted list with a bounty. For me, my personal safety is, of course, not 100% guaranteed, but I also feel like, for now, it's relatively safe when I'm a refugee in the United Kingdom. The focus should be the people in Hong Kong, because even though they are behind bars for years, which is a terrible thing, there are other extra-legal punishment for them. For example, their families are also harassed. Their social media dysfunctioned because of the pressure under the national security law, etc. So for me, it's really focusing on not only the jail sentencing, which is devastating, but also the other aspects where Hong Kong as a free society has gone.
So let's talk about the effect that these decisions may have on the movement. Many say and see this as the closing chapter of Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement. Would you agree?
For now, the democracy movement in Hong Kong is not, in a way, showing as a massive protest or a gathering. It has transformed into rather more subtle way because they have to adjust for these political climate. So for now, the political dissidents in Hong Kong cannot express as provocatively as they would have been, and also they're using different ways to just channel their message and stay connected. So definitely, the democracy movement in Hong Kong is different from, like, for example, 5 years ago. But I still believe that the pursuit for freedom and democracy is still in Hong Kong people's hearts.
Now, many countries have condemned the trial and the sentences, but is there anything that can be actually done by the international community to stop the erosion of democracy in Hong Kong?
It's very difficult to overturn the erosion of freedom in Hong Kong in a short period of time because Beijing has grown much more aggressive, and they have been expanding their authoritarian control in Hong Kong and also reaching to the world. So until we can find a way to contain the kind of influence and the confidence and aggression of Beijing, it is fairly difficult to overturn the Hong Kong situation. But I think we can still raise the awareness for the profile of these political prisoners and also the political situation in Hong Kong. It definitely helps to put pressure to the Hong Kong government, even though things cannot be overturned. But at least if they know that the international society tries to hold them accountable, they would act more cautious and they would be less suppressive.
The former Hong Kong lawmaker and pro-democracy activist Nathan Law joining us from London. Thank you very much, Nathan.
Thank you.
Joining me now is Carmen Lau, Senior International Advocacy Associate at the Hong Kong Democracy Council. Now, the activists have been jailed on subversion charges. What more can you tell us about the case?
The subversion charges are actually under the national security law, which is weaponized by the now authoritarian Hong Kong exile government. And 47 organizers and participants of the election primaries during 2021 were charged only because they ran for an election for this pro-democracy primary elections. And now they are accumulated total of 2,946 months behind bars for these all 45 candidates.
Now, this imposed security law imposed by China, what does this law and the conviction today mean for democracy in Hong Kong?
Apparently, this national security law is a weapon for the regime to undermine people who strive for freedom and democracy inside Hong Kong. And it is also actually a I must say, laid a ground for the CCP government to further repress people inside of Hong Kong and also democracy movement abroad. The repression is now extend its arms to overseas as well, including we have a majority of diaspora here in the UK and in the US and Canada as well. Not only activists and former politicians inside Hong Kong being prosecuted, but also a lot of activists in exile are now having bounties and arrest warrant as well.
Now, is there anything the international community can do to stop the erosion of democracy in Hong Kong?
I would like to stress that the democracy movement in Hong Kong is still ongoing. A lot of people are working hard and fighting for freedom and democracy for Hong Kong, inside of Hong Kong and also abroad. And we are hoping that the international communities and also democratic governments could act decisively in order to, stop the Hong Kong exile government and also the PRC government to repress people and leaders who are striving for democracy inside Hong Kong. Effective tools, including sanctioning, is all we are looking for. We are hoping that more of this assertive action could be done by our democratic allies.
Carmen Lau there from the Hong Kong Democracy Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you.